Alicia Purdy.
Good evening. My name is Alicia Purdy, and I'm running for mayor in the city of Albany. I'm here to express not total opposition to the Public Safety Commission, but I have grave reservations that must be stated. I agree that there is work to be done in how policing is accomplished in the city of Albany. But I do want to address a question by Councilman Cooley. Very quickly, I have a couple of things here. Do we really need police at events? Yes, the Boston Marathon bombing comes to mind, as does an active shooter situation at a fun concert festival in Las Vegas. We do need some police presence in the city of Albany at our events. A more comprehensive plan, certainly. My major concern as I'm sitting here tonight, I came in with a neutral mind, is the lack of representation. This is a word that we all like to use, a lack of representation of the Albany Police Department. They should be physically present here and invited into this conversation. And if they have refused that, then there is work that needs to be done there as well. I'm not opposed to creating a working relationship where there's increased community representation, but not at the expense of the safety of the city. We have shots fired. They are increasing. Not proving that we need mental health workers to clear a scene, but that we need people that are capable of neutralizing a threat so that the safety of the city of Albany is paramount and are thriving. I'm greatly concerned that Council now would like to hire a police chief who is beholden to the commission. And I'm sorry that the city has had difficult police chiefs who are incapable of doing their job. But as a mayor, I will appoint a police chief who is a capable human being of understanding both sides of the equation. I'm sorry to find out that a mayor would be appointing people to this with the current conditions that we have. We'll want to move mayor before this legislation continues to pass. Because the current mayor has proven she is incapable of anticipating problems, comprehending need, or hearing what people in the city of Albany truly want. We must be safe. It is paramount, because until all of our communities are safe, none of us are safe. There's a lot of work to be done, and I understand that, and I believe we can work together on that. But I do not believe that this legislation, as flawed as it is going to make a true difference in the community of the city of Albany, in the way that we want to transform our city so that we can all thrive. There is a better way. And I'm not saying we need to expand our police force and create a militarized zone. What I'm saying is we need a better police officer who are capable, educated, and supported to do a better job rather than just reactively running to the scene. It's not working for strikes you're fed. This is not a bad idea, but I would believe it to be naive in its current state and given the conditions and climate in the city of Albany. I've been in these meetings, I've sat in them online for the last year. We are all crying out for the same thing. How we approach that problem is where we need to stop, collaborate, and listen. To talk to the Albany police, they are willing to speak. And I want to stand here tonight. No one asked me to speak like this for the police, but I'm telling you now, as somebody who has spoken frequently with them, they are willing to do this work. They are. How we get that accomplished? Let's make this happen. But I'm gravely concerned that this will become a think tank. It does not represent accurately the good human beings who also are fighting for our safety in the city of Albany. So the last thing I'm going to say here, again, I want to make sure you understand, I am not opposed to having community representation in the city of Albany when it comes to our policing, but I believe this legislation to not be reformative, it is not transformative. It's the word I have staked my campaign on, is transformation. I believe this to be a regurgitation of what has been done. There's nothing cutting edge here. There's nothing new. Sorry? Right, you know what I'm in general. We cannot decouple policing from public safety. The right kind of policing is public safety. And I want to state unequivocally, mistakes have been made. People have done wrong. on the police side and on the community side. I'm a neutral party here to say I'm concerned about the lack of representation that is going to benefit our community to have input from both sides. So anyway, the last one to say is this: the city of Albany is not seeing policing done right. We can do better. This legislation is not it. If there's work to be done, it's going to start with the new mayor. And that is Alicia Purdy. Thank you. Alicia Purdy is the next speaker. Good evening. My name is Alicia Purdy. I'm running for mayor in the city of Albany. I want to be very clear about my position on the tear gas ban, total tear gas ban. I want to say this in terms of representation. We are a complex and dynamic city filled with many cultures from many places around the world, roughly 96,000 souls, and 95 people do not represent the majority. I sit here tonight representing thousands of people in the city of Albany, who I personally spoke to, who do not want a total ban on tear gas. So the fact that no one has spoken out, hold on right now. The fact is there is no alternative to tear gas to spell in a riot. One of the things I'm going to tell you is that my brother is a U.S. Navy SEAL. He's a highly decorated, one of the most highly decorated Navy SEALs in the United States of America. And he has seen riots all around the world. And as I put together thoughts on approaching this in the city of Albany, I've consulted with him. He's not pro-death and pro-military, et cetera, et cetera. People are suspecting and suffering from PTSD. Now, it takes a greater education to be a hairdresser than it does to be a police officer, and there's more accountability for someone who's going to dye your hair than someone who's going to hold a weapon. That matters. I don't agree that the mayor should be the exclusive person to make that decision. It's too politicized. The fact that a police officer stood up and defended their life with whatever means necessary, what is wrong with that? That's a human being. There needs to be parameters in place beforehand, and that's what a good mayor should do. Before we get to the point of a riot, you are right, what constitutes a riot? It matters. What constitutes a group of people peacefully petitioning their government under the First Amendment? These things must be in place. We must have a leadership that can anticipate a problem and can put things in place so that fewer people are harmed. I read every single comment the last time this came before the council, and you're right, there were many people who were upset, they were affected, they were rocking their babies at night, and tear gas came in the windows. Those things matter to the human beings that live here. But people also want to live, and as right now, consulting with some of the top minds in the world, there is not an alternative to dispelling riot, and that matters. There is a breakdown of the systems we have in place to management when we're in an emergency. The city absolutely needs a mayor who is capable and a police chief who is loyal and strong and capable of supporting the city in our great diversity. And I guarantee if a group of rioters with weapons and Molotov cocktails and broken beer bottles were flooding the ninth ward, you would want something to help, whatever that means for, to save your life and your beautiful home and your family. Until a replacement can be found, we cannot ban it entirely. And I do want to be clear, because I have been asked that as mayor, I have absolutely no intention of signing off on anything that is a total ban on tear gas. But I'm open to a discussion, absolutely, to the parameters with which it is deployed. And I agree that police officers should not be judge and jury. But I also agree that a traumatized human being who works with rape victims and sexually abused children and dead babies and sees people getting shot in the face needs more help and support as a human being. And that when we anticipate that trouble is coming, and in some of these circumstances we could, Those parameters should be in place now in times of peace when we can tussle this out as individuals that coexist in a very large city approaching 100,000 people. So the last thing I'm going to say is this. We do need all hands on deck, and we all approach this with our individual experiences and circumstances in our lives. I agree. And we are extremely diverse in our thoughts and opinions, but we are united by one thing. We all want to live. We all want the right to protect our life and our liberty. And the government should be in place to facilitate and protect human beings. And so I stand in opposition, and I would like to be clear on that. I would like to be clear that I have no intention of supporting a total ban on tear gas. Thank you.